evening, everybody. I'm a little bit too close here. Welcome to tonight's Let's Talk Autism, where it's all about us learning, sharing, and supporting one another. I'm waiting on Linda to come in. I'm going to put the link uh, in the chat for our dear Mr. Charles. And for those of you who are new to our Let's Talk Autism, what this is all about is our social gathering where we come together and talk about our journeys with our loved ones on the spectrum. Talk about anything. Sometimes we break the monotony and have a laugh or two, which is all right. That's what we need to do sometimes, right? But if you have a question, a comment, you want to share some good news, some bad news, whatever it is, throw it in the chat. Towards the end, we will invite you on up. If you have something inspirational to share, if you want to share some good news, of course, or bad news, or whatever the case may be. Or there's Mr. Charles. Or if you have a business, organization, a store, you're doing something awesome for autism and you want to share that, we will give you the platform. So, and this will be towards the end of tonight's session. Now, before we begin, I have a couple of announcements. I'm going to put in the chat our newly polished website. If you have not signed up for the newsletter, please do so. Also, a few updates. One being, we will be walking with Autism Alliance of Michigan this year. And I'm looking for, I can't think and type at the same time. I'm looking for those who want to join the Autism in Us team. So if you go to the website and scroll down, you'll see Team Autism in Us. Sign up for it there. You can also make a donation to Autism Alliance of Michigan, who is doing great things. I know they've helped my family, and we will be walking for autism at the Detroit Zoo. So why not come on out, walk for a good cause, see some animals, have a little fun, check out the resource booths. Registration is just $10, and all that information is on the website. The other thing is, we are having our very first live event here in Metro Detroit, October the 1st, sweatpants and mimosas. So for our autism moms. So that information is on the website now, a little bit of it. We'll have the ticket information up. It'll be free for those that want to attend. We're going to do some fellowship. We're going to play some games and win some prizes. We're going to raffle off a nice big basket. So if you are in the Metro Detroit area, you want to come out and just have a day away for a couple of hours, you are welcome. I'll have the sign up form. Let me make sure I get this right. I have the sign up form available for the tickets, because you have to have a ticket even though it's free. For those of you who would like to donate anything, whether it be monetary or you would like to donate to the event, something, or you have some resources you'd like to share, like some business cards or whatever, reach out to me and let me know if you'd like to make a monetary donation, because we can use all the help we can get. Please see any of our donate buttons. We have one up here on Facebook as well as our website. Let me think before I move on. And that's it for the announcements. But tonight I thought we would focus on services. But before I go into that, let our co-hostesses and hosts introduce themselves.
Okay, Linda.
Hey everyone, I'm Linda. I'm the other admin of Autism and Us. Welcome.
And I'm Charlie. I'm a retired mainframe computer software engineer with level 1 autism, and I joined this group some years back, and glad to give whatever help or encouragement I can give to the parents in this group.
Okay, so I thought tonight's focus for our talking, although the floor is open to anything you guys want to talk about, but so many parents have been talking about services and um, how it's hard for them to get services in different states. I just seen something even here in Michigan where I thought it was just relatively well, everybody just doesn't know everything about how to go about doing things, also. So, if you are someone in another state who can help with some resources in your state that will help streamline or move along services, please share that information. But I thought we'd talk about it and see which states are having difficulty and why. Why is this happening? And we could talk about that. Let's see who's here. Hey, Teresa, how are you?
Hi, Teresa.
Tara, how are you?
Hi, Tara. And hi, Rihanna.
Rihanna, there's Mr. Charles. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. And hi,
Hello,
Michelle.
Michelle.
Hi, Cynthia.
Cynthia, good evening. And this is the link to our website, autismanus.org. So make sure you guys go visit that for upcoming events and keep updated with information. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter also. Hey, Barbara,
Hi,
Janelle.
Barbara and Janelle.
Yes, they will be. They'll be, they should be already on Facebook as well. So if you go to the main page, it's right there, but the links will be available. This live will be available right after we are done this evening. Hey, Laura,
Hi, Laura. Hi, James.
James, Yvette,
Bet. And hi, Holly.
and
Hi,
Karen.
Karen.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. So, Linda, how are you doing this evening?
I have a bad headache, but I'm doing good. How is everyone else? How are
Oh,
you?
doing okay. Doing okay. Mr. Charles, you all right this evening?
Yeah, Cindy and I are doing fine.
Great.
Yeah, she's upstairs resting. I'm down here with the group. Now, next week, I probably won't be with the group. In fact, I almost surely won't be because we go to our convention this coming weekend, and
Okay.
I don't think I'll be back and settled in position to join the group next Sunday. But I'll
Okay.
be back here 2 weeks from tonight.
Definitely understand, Mr. Charles. So anyone want to start off? Is anyone in the group having trouble getting needed services for your loved ones? You want to share some of the issues you are having? If not, is there anyone in the group who has information on resources for parents? I know this happens in different states, in different areas, so we just want to talk about it. James says, I'm the parent of a 22-year-old female who is developmentally disabled with severe intellectual disability and requires total care. How do I speed up the process for getting her into a facility? Does anybody know um, about facilities?
Well, what state are you in, too? That's important.
Yeah, that's important also. I know I was listening to some other parents a while back. They said the best course when you are uh, going to put your child in. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen, but they said it's usually best to sign them up early on. I also heard another parent sometimes they have to go into a hospital facility for like a month and before they're able to get into a facility. And then there are other parents who have just been lucky. They were able to sign their kids up. And this is for adults. And this is for adults. So I know sometimes it can be difficult if you have a worker that she's working with. Maybe you can set up a meeting and see what's the best course of action you have. And I would suggest definitely call around and see what's available in your state. He's in Oklahoma, Mr. Charles.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Again, everything is local. I think there's somebody else in the group. There are some other people in the group from Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure. So they might be able to help.
Hey, Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
How was Daniel's game today? I'm kind of wondering, was I supposed to be there today? Because I was so confused. I got two different, um, you know, emails about it. But we will be there next weekend for sure. Cynthia says, I live in Nebraska. Crazy looking for help here. Question: ABA in home or building, which is better? Um, I would say, like, if you're just starting ABA, now this is my personal opinion, I would say in home, so you can more so monitor what's going on, get to know um, your RBT, um, and you can feel comfortable. Then later on, when it's time for, you know, community things or outing, maybe at the center. Now, some do it at the center, but if you have a young child, I always recommend make sure you're somewhere around in the area. But for me personally, I like in home because it's more personable and I can see what they were doing. He doesn't do ABA anymore, but I could see what they were doing, monitoring and talking. Then he had a chance to do both in home and at the center. By that time, I was a little more comfortable. We had been with Maya for a couple years, so he would go with her, and they actually picked them up and took them to the center. So, anyone else have any suggestions or recommendations about ABA in home? And then it just depends on what you're looking for in ABA.
Say too, home is better starting out too because if you're there, you can hear everything. Because ultimately, you have to implement the things that he or she is learning is in ABA, anyways. So it kind of does help out until things get moving along, like Nita said.
Uh, oh, there's Pammy. Hey, Pammy.
Hi, Pam.
Anyone else has anything to add to ABA? Feel free to chime in. Hey, Sierra, how are you?
Hi,
We're good,
Sierra.
Pam. How are you, Pam? How's Ralphie? James says, I received in home, which was really good. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people are comfortable. If you're comfortable with having, then you have to be comfortable with having someone in your home because they become a part of your household.
Hi, Adriana.
Thank God.
Hey, Adriana. And yeah, the game was really good. Good. We can connect during the week and go over to. Okay, I have that snap, and that's what I was looking at, and I seen some other parents saying, and they were talking yesterday. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to make the game, or I'll be there. So I was like, them, Well, yeah, we'll talk. You can help me out here because I want to make sure he definitely, because I think they shortened the weeks because of whatever they were doing in the field. Hi, Yvette. Yvette says, I do have a question. I am not rich, just normal person. Honey, that's me too. It is so much for a lawyer. I can't afford one. I am trying to become my son guardian. I'm getting ready to go through that now too. In Texas, it is so hard. Lone Star legal aid is not funding at this time. My son is 19, autistic, still in school. Anyone have someone? Was it someone in Texas?
It's RJ's mom.
Oh, sure was. I haven't seen her in a while. Sure was. RJ's mom was in Texas and she went through all of that. Anyone know anything about Texas legal aid? Um, does your son have a support worker? Now, I'm just speaking in terms of like here in Michigan, like the support worker can help and they can get a waiver for the cost of going through the guardianship. I'm not so sure about how Texas works, but it's worth a shot if he has a social worker, specifically a support services worker, that can help him. If anybody else know anything about Texas and guardianship, please chime in. James says, my daughter received in home and it was highly recommended. Okay.
Yeah.
I did both, but in home was much better. Yeah. He's officially, yeah, for that young, I would probably, for me, I would do in home just so I could, see what's going on and answer questions or if, make myself available right there. Um, we are just signing up here in New York.
Hi,
Okay.
Sheila.
Signing up for ABA, Sheila. To try asking a pro bono for a pro bono attorney. Okay. Yeah, they how would she go about doing that, Adriana? Can she look them up or does she have to get in touch with somebody to see if they'll do pro bono? Maybe just pick up the phone. I don't know. Linda, you know anything about trying to get in touch with a lawyer that'll do things like that for free?
I'm looking it up right now, though.
Okay.
Googling it now. So let me look into that.
Okay. Hi, Karen. Make sure you check out what companies are out there to place your child in a group or a waiver home. Be very careful and do your homework. Yes, very good advice. Very good advice. Thank you for that, Karen. So, James, that one was for you. Make sure you do your homework. That is important. Glad you are good, Pammy. Glad Ralphie is good.
Adriana.
I can't wait to. Oh, so you're talking about ABA? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, are you in New York City, Sheila, or upstate?
Yeah, I think she said in New York. Now, I was just on another platform. I was uh, on a live with another mother that was saying it was really difficult for her child to get her child in the services in New York. I think she said she was specifically in Harlem. But we did have another mother who chimed in who was able to give her some insight on what to do. Now, did you have a difficult time, Sheila, or was it relatively um, straightforward getting your child services or starting them? Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
ABA in home helps the parents learn how to easier do things. In center didn't help me as the parent at all. Okay. Yeah, I liked. Only reason I liked in center, because DeAndre, well, he was a teenager, but um, we did everything at home, and then they would take him out into the community, like to the store, shopping, or stuff like that. Learning how to maneuver there, and then they had socialization was one of the other reasons he went to the center to be around, other kids and learn how to play games and share. Okay, Tara says call your local courthouse. Okay, okay. So for a pro bono lawyer, yeah, check into it with your local courthouse.
And there is a website, it's called texaslawbook.net,
Let
and
me
it
put
talks
that
about
in the
pro
chat.
bono opportunities.
Wait a minute. Texas Law Book
Texaslawbook, yeah, .net.
book.net. See if yeah. I think I spelled it right. So I put the link in the chat. Go ahead. What does it share, Linda?
Let me send you the link. Pro bono opportunities abound in guardianship cases, and it has resources in there. Up here. I'm gonna send you the. I'm on my phone, so the comments are different.
Oh, okay.
But I'll
Okay.
send it to you. And there
So
it is
I'm
right
gonna
there.
repost the link here. Let's see. Copy link. And I'm putting the link here in the chat for that information. Pro bono opportunities. Let's see if it can. Did it come up? Did it come up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So check into that website.
Searching around those ones to find it.
Sierra says, my current RBT is everything. We are now trying to get out the house into the community. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Some attorneys will give you a choice of payment plans. Okay. No, who should I ask for a support helper? When you say support helper, what do you mean? For guardianship in Texas. Hey, Barbara. I'm a grandparent raising 2 grandchildren with autism. I started off with in-home ABA training. They both are in a bosses in school box, BOCES in school. What is that? I'm not familiar with that. Are you familiar with that, Linda? BOCES?
No, let me see. No, let me.
Okay, it was easy for you, Sheila.
Okay.
Okay, where at the courthouse? It depends on what state you're in, Janelle. Michigan, different states have different rules for guardianship and conservatorship. If you're
And
in,
different terminology. They
yeah.
mean different things in different states, legally speaking.
Mm-hmm. Now, my understanding, if you're in Michigan, conservatorship only covers the financial part for a loved one, where you take over the finances and help them with that. Guardianship will help with everything, the medical, legal paperwork, finances, and all of that. In other states, it may be turned around a little different or something taken away. So, but that was my understanding for here in Michigan.
California,
Victoria.
conservatorship covers.
Okay, go ahead, Linda.
In California, conservatorship covers all 7 rights of your adult person on the spectrum.
Okay.
So that's conservatorship. Guardianship in California is only for minors. So
Wow. Yeah. So see how
a different term.
Different. Yeah, different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I worked for an insurance company at one point, and we had to print out. There was the form we sent to people who, after they'd been insured, had a life insurance policy for a certain length of time, a certificate of guaranteed insurability, allowing, guaranteeing they could add a certain amount of insurance. They could increase their amount of insurance by a certain amount. The state of Pennsylvania, the Insurance Commission didn't like that word certificate. So we had to print a separate form just for our Pennsylvania policyholders on a notification of guaranteed insurability. Wow. So, that's how it is, between states. So guardianship,
differences
conservatorship, and it might be called something completely different in some
somewhere
states.
else. Yeah. Yeah, it can get confusing.
Basically, what I did when I went in there, I just asked for the definition of each one
Hmm.
because I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know what the term was.
Yeah, that's what I sort of did. Well, I just asked, what's the difference? Why should I
Exactly.
be taking guardianship over conservatorship? But yeah, it's so many differences in the states. Wow.
And how many times have we done this before, right?
Right. Sheila says Medicaid just started to be accepted for the ABA services in New York. Okay.
Very good.
Well, you would think Medicaid would have been, you know, but wow.
It's
Okay.
maybe
Well, that's
just
good news.
Every state has its own
because I
Medicaid
think
Yeah.
rules.
too, I think if in a lot of states, if your individual coverage doesn't cover ABA or things needed for autism, then you can get a med waiver, and sometimes Medicaid will cover that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I know here they have autism specific medical waiver where they would get all the service under the autism program. Hi,
So
Kevin.
funny how different
Hi,
states do
Kevin.
it differently.
Right. I mean, I would think, and I was saying this the other day, it should be across the board how, services for our babies are. It should be no twists and turns, and you have to do this in one state and do this in another. Just something should be across the
Yeah.
board. They need the services.
If you move, you really have to consider where you're moving, or maybe you
Uh,
may have to move to get certain services.
right. Got to move out of state. Uh, they told me there are only a handful of lawyers in the area that do guardian paperwork. Okay.
Really hard time finding them. And I don't know why, but yeah, I did. But we found one, and I mean, they were awesome too. But we did have it would seem like it was every family scenario except for what we needed.
Okay.
Ended up
Wow.
finding someone.
It's hard to find someone. Danielle says, I don't know
Thought I was gonna
anything
have to do it
about
myself.
Texas guardianship. However, maybe ARC USA can direct. Yeah. Yep. That's a good idea too. The ARC. Yeah. That's a good idea. So Yvette Sanchez, check it to the ARC. And I think the ARC go by state too, right?
So
Hi, Sierra. First time viewer. Well, hello and welcome. I'm guessing you're chatting about ABA. My daughter started ABA at 2.5 at home. About 4, we switched to center base, and she has grown so much. I wish I could help with the lawyer. Okay, well, it's awesome. You had a great success story with ABA, and yes, I wish I had some answers, but definitely try the art Yvette. And Sheila's in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Hmm. We are actually going through intake right now after they have established that his medical provider will cover the service. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not too far away from there. I'm in Connecticut, maybe a couple hours away from New York. I a couple times a month usually I take the train into New York because I'm some work I do in New York there, volunteer work there. So take the train in for that.
Okay.
So,
So Danielle shared the link to the ARC. So make sure you check that out. And anyone who's here, if you have questions, even guardianship questions or services, reach out to the ARC. And I do think they also go by states too. They have different chapters or what have you per state. So it should be listed on the website. I'm not sure, but definitely check them out.
Also, if you can't find an attorney to do it pro bono, I'm pretty sure it would be ARC that has the information for legal assistance. And I don't know if all states do it because I thought some states don't allow you to file with the court yourself, but a lot of states do though. So if you could even get somebody to help assist you with the paperwork for you to go into court to submit all this, that would also be another option. Again, like I said, I don't know what states allow you to do that, but most of them do.
Mhm. She would have to get in touch with the attorney and ask if the fee. Okay, so if she was to
Yeah.
call right out.
The
Tammy
fee
said,
for the
"Oh, go ahead."
for a certain part of the submission, I think the when you file with the court or something is if they're on SSI, that gets waived. So there's a
Okay,
certain portion of it that is waived.
okay, so that's good information to know. Hi, Tammy. In order for ABA to work, you have to implement the strategies daily, even when. Yep, that is true. That is true.
Which is another advantage of having it at home if possible, because then you're right there
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
rather than somebody having to tell you things that you may
What to
not be
do.
able to relate to because you haven't seen them.
Mm-hmm. And then if you already are doing something, you can share that with your tech and they can implement it while they're doing it in home. So, yeah, definitely. You're welcome.
Yeah. TexasLawBook.net. That's good to know too.
My son also has a respite worker, a HHA, and a para for the school bus. Awesome. Oh, yeah, you getting down with the services. That's
All right.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because the one mother that was in New York, she was saying that she was on a waiting list, and I'm not sure if she just didn't know the correct way to go about it. But again, another parent stepped in and was sharing some information. But hopefully, she can get the services her baby needs. That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. Cynthia says he has been accepted in preschool in public school and had heard different ABA, some good, some bad. Thanks. I appreciate all your response. Yeah, it doesn't work for everybody. So, it doesn't hurt to try. And like I always say, what works for one may not work for another. But, we have a success story with ours. I was satisfied.
I
Yeah.
think too. I think too the level makes a difference. You have a level 2, level 3. That's where ABA is most likely to be
Benefit.
helpful. It's less likely to be helpful with level 1.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, nobody knew about autism when I was growing up. Very little was known. Even what medical science thought it knew was mostly wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
so needless to say, ABA wasn't an issue. But from what I've heard, I don't think had it been available then, I don't think it would have helped me because I'm
Yeah.
functioning at a higher level.
Yep. And consistency
Yep,
is definitely key. That is so true.
it is. I also think that um, if you're giving it a chance, understand too that it may not be ABA that's not working. It could be the
Okay.
ABA tech.
Yeah.
So that plays a really big part, the tech and your child, because it has to be like a good fit. Um, but if it's not working, consider that might be the situation and understand that most of the time you have options to change.
Yep. And definitely use your options. Definitely. Because that's so true, Linda. Because sometimes you could get an RBT, and that's another good reason to have it at home because you can see if they click or not, or if it's going to work out and use your parental instincts right then and there. Normally, Texas, you'll need two attorneys, One will represent you and the other will represent your child. Ah, okay.
Wow.
When we went through attorneys, and Emily did, she had a public defender, and then
Okay.
we hired our attorney. Then they have the investigators and everything too, which also came with fees. But I think hers was waived on that as well because of the SSI. But yeah, that we opted for attorney, and yeah, we did have to have two because there had to been one side to look after Emily.
Wow. Okay. Okay. See, now that's something else I got to check into. See how this works. It's a constant struggle, but I keep pushing because I need as much assistance as possible. Yes, and I say if you can get the services, get them. Get as much as you can for as long as they last. Anything can help. You know.
So
Um,
another Long
Just time
Islander.
back, so it's always good.
Long
Yep, yep.
Island, and my kids started earlier. Yeah, we had early. Ours is called early on. We had the early intervention too.
So you and Sheila both on Long Island. I lived in Long Island for the first 7.5 years of my life. So I lived in Jackson Heights and Queens at first, then moved out to Uniondale for 5 years. So
Okay, New York, New York. Awesome. I hope that any of the information you received tonight is helpful and you find what you're looking for. That Michelle says autistic ambassadors founded by now. What is this? No, no, no advertising in the group. If you'd like to come up later on and share with us, you are more than welcome. But please do not share anything unless you've been around resources. But we will invite you up if you'd like to share information about the organization. And actually, in about 10 minutes, you can come on up. We want to see your face and you can talk about it. Support helper could be a service coordinator.
yeah.
So yeah, they go by support helper, service coordinator, case manager. Yeah. Office of People with Developmental Disabilities, OPWDD, is a must. Okay, that's in New York, right?
Now is that a city agency or is it a state agency?
That sounds like it would be like here we have Detroit Wayne um, Integrated Health Network. So that's where we would go
Yeah.
through get services. Oh, okay. She was probably asking about support services such as CLS here or regional center in California. Okay. Depending on the state or county. Okay. I got it. I was asking where do I get the helper for support from? Like his insurance. Are you guys saying like an advocate? Yeah, so if you get now another thing, if you're talking about insurance, I got help through an organization when I had to kind of battle between private insurance and Medicaid for DeAndre, what who was gonna pay for what and all that good stuff. But I went through Autism Alliance of Michigan. So you may have an organization or like she mentioned before, the ARC. You can go through the ARC and they will definitely advocate for you if it's an issue dealing with your insurance, and they'll help you. They'll help you with that. It's a school that deals with autism. Oh, that those were the BO. What was it? BOCES. Okay. Hey, Yanabi.
Hi, Yana.
In Texas, it's legal guardianship, not to be confused for power. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Uh, and power of
power.
attorney generally
Okay.
has more universal meaning, and that's pretty much everywhere. It means you're giving somebody else the right to represent you. It pretty much means the same thing everywhere, but it's limited and doesn't really apply when you're talking about an adult with a disability.
Hmm. Care managers help navigate through insurance issues here in New York. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, for school with other developmental delays and diagnosis. So, do you go to your county courthouse to do that? And can I do that even if my son is 20? Is that for guardianship? Is that what she's speaking on?
Yes, yeah, I guess, let me see. So he's 20, and what state are you in? And have you had issues with handling his business affairs, his medical, his anything that he needs done as an adult? Or is he capable of doing that himself? Not, and he's an adult, and you don't have the rights, yeah, that's what you would go to court for, to be able to make those decisions for him.
Right. And that's very important, especially now if he's 20. You need to have something in place. Something. We have been on a waiting list for a. Ooh, wow. Now that is a long time, Yana B. Very long time.
Yeah, some places it's like that though. It depends on where you live, and some places you can get it quickly. Other places they make you wait forever because there just are not is not that much available.
Hmm. Yana B, have you? Are you in Texas? Am I? Am I mistaken? Is it Texas or Tennessee? Because I would think maybe trying to call outside of the waiting list and see if they will. If you find a place, maybe they'll pay for it. Has anyone ever heard of something like that? Like if a certain your support workers or whatever center has you on a waiting list, but you happen to find something, can you have them pay for what you found?
About that, I wonder if the waiting list is for the funding or if the waiting list is for the service.
Okay. Right. Yeah, because that could be something too. Um, was directed to the judge. Film. Oh, excuse me. Family law. Okay. Autism is covered by Medicaid in Florida. Okay. So
That's good.
there's no issues with Florida and services. Nita, I was just saying the same thing about across the board. Yeah, it should be no question, just across the board. Just you got autism, should be across the board. Moved from Tennessee to Wisconsin for services for. Oh, you had to move. Wow. Yep, you were just saying that, Linda. People have to move. I just wrote a
Also, I
book.
just seen
Oh,
this thing
go ahead.
as uh government only recently clarified to state Medicaid agencies that all medically necessary services for autism must be included. The requirement is regardless of whether the service is covered in a state's Medicaid plan or not. And that's from Autism Speaks.
Oh, okay. And you guys may want to try Autism Speaks. Call in the organization and see if they can also help. with services in your states. Um, I just wrote a paper for school regarding Medicaid covering ABA. I'm in Illinois. Unfortunately, there are huge wait lists, plus a lot of companies not being approved. Oh, okay, so that's an issue right
Wow.
there. The amount of stress all over these families go through to obtain services is ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So they have to be approved. And I'm wondering what the centers, what type of requirements they have to have, to be approved just for it to get paid for. Yep, everything, it just should be across the board. Simple.
I
Simple.
know, because what are you going to say? The federal government's going to say that some kids in certain states need it and other kids in the other
Right,
states don't?
right. Within each state, one has to also check the rules within each county. Okay. It's different county. Okay. The ARC can go by state and county, but there is a national child. Okay. Okay. Yep. Definitely check out the ARC. Medicated what makes us parents' life miserable. I would never understand why a parent has to prove every 6 months or so that their autistic child still needs services. There's no cure for autism, definitely not. And usually
Literally, that's
it's what the people who are servicing these kids are writing down on that paper that triggers them to ask for things. Go ahead, Linda. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
literally asking you, does your child still have autism? 6
Right.
months later,
Like it's just
every
gonna
six
go
months,
away.
still autistic?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Has he been cured?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm 76 years old. I haven't been cured yet.
Um, he has ABA services here at home. Have been for 3 years now. Thanks so much. Okay, great. Sierra says it seems our children are only names on paper, not living human beings, deserving of opportunities and quality care. Yes, definitely. I agree with you, Sierra. You could do it here yourself, and they have people at the courts to guide you. There's a waiting list for guardianship lawyers. Wow. I guess I would be scared to go about it myself without the guidance.
Hmm.
I would be afraid I'd mess up on something. Oops. But
I was going to do it too, and then we finally found
uh, what do you want, Sammy? Can you take over, Linda, with the chat? Let me go get my coffee.
one. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be
Um,
right back.
Dana says, what is HHA? Says the struggle is real. Yana B says, I wish my boys could get some services, but we are on waiting list for a lot of services too. And on the waiting list. HHA is home health aid. Um,
Yeah.
research that tonight. You and I will be making this journey together this year. Michelle says, cut off Anita. We'll have to look that up. Hi, I am first time viewer and I'm so thankful and extremely excited about this platform being available for families. My name is Michelle Abraham Montgomery and my son was diagnosed with autism. He is currently 29 now and I am co-founder of Spectrum Success. Oh, 911. And this is the one asking
Okay.
you if you want to come on.
Oh yeah, you have to come on up.
Yeah,
Come
to
on up
speak
and
about that.
share. Uh, let's start me some coffee.
And Sheila says, very helpful. Danielle says, Nita, you and I will be making the guardianship journey together this year.
Yes, yes. So you know I'll be calling you.
Good too, 'cause it's pretty good too, because you guys are both in Michigan, so I'll have the
Yeah,
same
I'll be calling
answers.
you. So we're gonna invite Michelle on up so she can share. I'm gonna take that out of the chat because we don't allow, that in the chat. We like you to come on up and you can share about your organization, what you do. I'm gonna put anyone else who'd like to come on up, feel free. Um, let's see. I'm putting the link into the chat right now. Click on the link and follow the instructions, and I will be right back. Linda, you got it? I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. Hello from Oklahoma. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
First time viewer as well. Great information from Tammy. Welcome, Tammy.
Oh, there's somebody else from
Yana
Oklahoma
says,
who had some questions here that maybe you might be able to help him out, Jennifer, or he might be able to help you with something.
let me see where that was. Um, so then Tammy, again, welcome, and Yana B. Yana B, we're still waiting on a case manager. Oh, hey, Larry. Says, has anyone had success with their insurance company approving additional speech and occupational therapy visits? We've already submitted a clinical review with documents of medical necessity from therapists and pediatricians. Still in school.
Documents.
They recommend occupational therapy and speech therapy as well. It's
Oh yeah,
recommended by the therapist and the pediatrician, you would think, and it's
yeah,
medical necessity that
definitely.
it should be nothing but approved, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I see Michelle. Let me pull this off. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes,
No,
he can
Oh,
hear.
this is awesome. Oh my goodness, this is so awesome.
So
I
what I was saying, we don't like you to
Yeah,
feel
I
that way.
apologize. This was my first time. I didn't know. I
Okay.
apologize.
Well, we want you to come on up so we can see your face and you can
Awesome.
share what you're doing. So I'm making some coffee, but Linda's here, and we'll give you the floor. Share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Awesome. So I'm Michelle Abraham Montgomery, and I am in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I am a co founder along with my son, who is 29 years old, living on the spectrum. And he is the first community autism peer specialist for the city of Philadelphia. And he works out of the mayor's office in the Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services. And based on the work that he does with working with individuals living on a spectrum, we wanted to do it at a grander scale. And so we created Spectrum Success 911, where we provide advocacy and programming, resources, information, and for individuals with autism and mental health differences. Because I found out that my daughter, who is now 26, along with myself, we had some mental health differences ourselves. I am a family peer specialist supervisor, and I was working with at Community Behavior Health as a family support partner, and I was flying from state to state, working with families that had children in residential facilities. And as I'm taking youth and adult mental health psychoeducation, I'm learning that a lot of things started resonating with me and hitting home. And the pieces just started to come together for why I was feeling the things that I was feeling and why I was experiencing a lot of the things that I was. And so, with that, we incorporated mental health into our organization because it only made sense that mental health also accompanies the diagnosis.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's awesome. I heard a little bit. I had to walk in the kitchen, but that's awesome. And we're gonna share.
Yes.
Um. Do you have any contact information?
So I do. So my email, I should say, well, our website is
Wait, hold
www.spec.
on.
I'm sorry.
No, hold on, because I gotta type this in.
Yes,
Okay, let's do
it's
that again.
www.spectrumsuccess911.org. And on our website, you can find free webinars for all different type of mental health diagnosis underneath of the events tab, as well as under our resource tab is connections. We act as a liaison to connect you with other organizations, like if you want to get your child you want to get them evaluated or connect with other organizations. So those links and that information is also L1's A list is also in there where you can find resources and respite and all different type of information for your loved one in regards to autism and mental health is available along with our programming. So
Okay.
currently I'm from Southwest Philadelphia, which is a high crime area. And so we received a grant
Okay.
for anti-youth violence. So we are also running Finding Hope After Violence, which is a family program for empowerment and resiliency after your child has been impacted by bullying, violence, gun violence, any type of trauma, as well as Yes in Southwest, which is youth exercise and solidarity in Southwest Philadelphia.
You guys are
All
busy.
Yes, all of these programs come with a $250 stipend that the youth gets after the program, as well as $250 worth of mental health services from an organization of their choice.
Okay, so is this only for those in Philadelphia, or are you nationwide here?
So our information and resources is online, and they can utilize that from nationwide at any places. Like for example, let's say a parent say, "Well, I think my child may have autism." There is a link available under resources where you can go under the car autism resource, and you can say like, "What are some of the identifiers?" on there, and you can go through this checklist to see, okay, maybe my child might have some of the identifiers, and that would prompt them to want to make an appointment with their developmental pediatrician. So,
Okay.
and there's also tutorials from YouTube on there about different autism behaviors or different things if your child is exhibiting those behaviors, what to do, as well as for mental health, all different type of mental health things, like for example, if you have skin picking or if you're very anxieties or different things like that, you can go on there and those type of information and resource links are there.
Awesome. So you guys, I put the information in the chat and it's up here. Make sure you guys take a look at the website. And I see Danielle says she is following you on social media.
Awesome.
You are doing an awesome job. Thank you for sharing. See,
Thank
this
you
is what
so
we
much.
like to hear.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for having this platform. My heart is just filled with joy that that families can come and find out more information and actually talk to people. And it's so happy. I'm so happy that I can see people that look like me because
Yeah.
that was one of my concerns and why we started Spectrum Success 911 because back in the 90s in the my son, when I found out that my son had developed mental challenges that, not even before autism came into my journey, there were no support groups for anyone that looked like me. And a Hispanic organization took me in. And that changed my life because I didn't realize that I was prejudiced then. But then when I went there and just to see the love that they poured to me, it really changed my perspective of the
Yeah,
way that I thought about people and treated people. Because I was that girl that would go in the store and be like, why don't you get your child? Like they all over the place. Before that was my child in the store
yeah,
acting up. Now people are looking at me. So it really opened my eyes and my heart to the way I started to treat and view people.
that's right. That's right. And here we are very diverse. So, but welcome. You are welcome anytime to share. And it's awesome, like I said, what you are doing. And I put you guys, we are going past time. So anyone wants to come on up, feel free if you want to share something inspirational, motivational. Anyone else have a business, organization, or anything else they'd like to share? Come on up because time is a ticking.
Well,
uh,
good to hear from you, Michelle. You know, and that's
Beautiful.
it's good the work that you're doing and everything.
Mm.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
that's
Charlie.
awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna put that up here one more time. So you guys make sure you go to Michelle's website and visit. Um, Before we get on our last for to our last words, I want to remind you guys to make sure you visit our website, autismandus.org, and we're looking for teammates. So if you are in the Metro Detroit area, join Team Autism and Us. We will be walking for Autism Alliance of Michigan for the Hero Walk at the Detroit Zoo, September 23rd. But come on and join the team. $10 to register. If you'd like to donate to Autism Alliance of Michigan, you can do so when you register. All the information is on our website. Just go to autismandus.org, scroll down, and you'll see Team Autism and Us. Also, want to remind everybody October the 1st is our first mom's event, Autism Moms event, sweatpants and mimosas. So, if you'd like to help out, if you'd like to donate products, resources, monetary donations, we are accepting it all. So, you can check out the information on our website. More information will be forthcoming. I want to thank everybody for tonight. This has been an awesome discussion tonight. Thank you, Michelle. You are awesome. Thank you for all you do. And on that note, I'm going to give the floor to Linda for last words.
Everybody have a good week. I hope the resources that we learned today are beneficial to us. And remember that your resources are that you have, you might not seem like they're that important, but they might be a gem for somebody else.
Yeah, Mr. Charles.
And again, everybody have a great week. I probably won't be here next week because Cindy and I will be coming back from a convention, and I don't think we'll be settled at the time this discussion takes. But
Definitely
last
understand.
week I was able to come in at the last minute. I know Cindy and I were visiting or over at a friend's place playing bid whist, but we got back here in time and I was able to join the group for a few minutes. Maybe I'll be able to do that next Sunday too. But everybody have a great week and great 2 weeks in case I'm not here next week.
All right. And Danielle says, everyone have a great week. Stay hydrated. Make time for something relaxing for yourself. Yes, that's important. Michelle, do you have any last inspirational, motivational words before we log off?
Yes, I just wanted to just share our mantra, which is we are breaking cycles and creating a new path conspicuously for us, by us.
All right. Okay, everybody. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Same place, same time next week, next Sunday. And I hope to see you guys then. Thank you. This was an awesome discussion. Let's keep doing this. See you guys later.
All right, good night.